Welcome to our Sunday night live show. Service just wrapped up for tonight. And so we had such an amazing Sunday worship services today with the music and the sermon, Better Together. My name's Ron. I'm one of the pastors at the church, and we want to thank you for tuning in tonight. And this whole program is made so that you can ask your questions, ask maybe about any questions that you have with the church. I'm gonna have a special guest come in here to the show right now, as she just got done singing the blessing for many of you guys who tuned in to the church service. And this is Addison, and she didn't do anything but hang around the house all day. But anyhow, so we want to thank you guys for joining us. If you have questions about the church, you can post them in the comments as we go along here, and we would love to take those live. We got a star-studded group of people sitting in the green room right now. They're just sipping coffee and waiting to come onto the show. And so while I have you here, you're a member of the worship team, lead team, right? What's it called? Yeah, you're going to talk here. Okay. Oh, she likes to sing, but maybe not talk. You're part of the lead team. Do you have any dirt on Blake?
No.
Come on, just tell us something that nobody else would know about Blake. Okay, so that's it for her. I guess we'll go ahead and bring onto the show one of my best friends in the world, Tor Andreessen. Tor, how you doing?
How are you, sir?
Tor, I wanted to bring Tor is our resource minister at the church, and he does such a great job just paying attention to our personnel, and he's a mentor to all of us at the church. And I know a lot of you who are out there probably don't know Tor, but here he is. I want to bring him on. Tor, when we talk about this message, those are working man hands right there. Yeah. when we talk about this message that Pastor Ernie shared with us today about being better together, I think often of some of the things that we've talked about. You spent quite a few years away from home wrapping up a job where you had to spend some time kind of, I don't know if it was in the kind of isolation that we're in now, but certainly it was similar. And now we're in an isolation with COVID. When you think about better together, what are some things that come to your mind just in your faith and in your family and in our community?
Well, Ron, I if I'm going to be very transparent with you, I think I have a whole new appreciation for fellowship and what it means to be together in family, especially in our church family. I've been practicing this social distancing now for about 10 weeks, and I can tell you that couple things glaringly came out to me. Number one, I miss the interaction with people face to face. The technology that we have today is wonderful. I'm certainly grateful, and we're blessed that we have it. But there's nothing that replaces that face to face interaction. The camaraderie. We clearly see in Scripture that says two is better than one, right? And so I just feel like this unity that we're talking about, it's in our DNA. It's how we're designed. We're meant to be together.
Yeah, that's right. And so, well, talk to me, since you've got wisdom and you've gone through this now and you've gone through it before. For somebody who may be out there listening, who is really struggling through this time, what are some maybe some of your secrets, maybe some things that you've done just to stay, connected or stay connected with God? Any advice that you would give to anybody out there who maybe is feeling down, just really discouraged during this time?
Yeah, I've kind of experienced some of that downtime and some of the uncertainty, a sense of loneliness, and I have to tell you, there's a couple things that have worked very well for me, and that is, number one, being intentional about being in the Word. I'm taking up a practice of first thing in the morning and last thing at night. I think there's always wisdom to be found in the Bible, and it helps me, it comforts me. I think it's also been a unique time for me to be more proactive and intentional about engaging with my family that reside down in Tucson. That I think I spend more time talking to them now than I ever have in the past, and have realized that I've missed out on some things about my own family that I didn't know about. So I think that I think just realizing that I have to make that commitment and I have to stay engaged, that's been very beneficial for me.
Well, thanks, Tor. Thanks for thanks for sharing that. And again, for any of you guys out there listening, Tor, he works behind the scenes with us as a staff and really basically full time with us. He's a huge blessing. If you ever wonder what makes us go, what keeps us on track, Tor, your name always comes to mind. And I love you and thanks for jumping into the show here tonight with us.
I love you, brother, and look forward to the day that we can all get back together face to face. Looking forward to that.
Now, I do have a quick thing for you. It looks like there's a gentleman by the name of Ernie Jaricki who's jumped into the show.
Yeah, I see that.
He's a busy man. You know,
Yeah,
he's jumping from back and forth, and so
hard to keep track of him.
Yeah, it is. So anyhow,
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Tor. Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks.
Again, we want to thank all of you guys for jumping in. And if you have questions like Pastor Ernie did right there, make sure you write them in the comments and we can post them on here. Maybe you got questions about the church. Maybe you have questions about the sermon. Maybe you have questions about the music. I think Pastor Blake is going to be joining us a little bit later. We'll see. But until then, we're going to jump on over to one of the new things that we've been doing during this time, and we're going to continue to do is our online church. And, you know, one of the keys to our online church, the monumental things that happened was our host that we've gotten. And so we're going to bring in one of our hosts, not just any host. This is Marilyn Marchant. Marilyn, you've done a great job. You basically lead the host team. And I just wanted to bring you in and say thanks. You're one of our most amazing volunteers because you rally everybody up every week. Can you talk just a little bit about what is that like working behind the scenes on the TCAZ.live platform? What are some things that excite you that people are a part of and the commenting? What energizes you through that platform?
It's an awesome platform because just like having that chat room right next to you, right there, being able to talk to people is so cool. And I think all of us hosts can agree, like what excites us the most is when you guys ask for prayer and like interact with us. Man, we love that so much. Because we like want to be there for you. We want to love on you guys so hard and like pray for you guys. So yeah, I think I can speak for all the hosts is when you guys ask for prayer and you guys like reach out to us, we love that so much.
Yeah, and that's cool because you guys take that serious, right? I mean,
yeah.
Even though, you know, it's is it strange typing a prayer?
Yeah, there's that expectation, like people are waiting for you to talk and you're like, man, I gotta like type 800 words a minute. Like you gotta be like on fire with your typing for sure.
Yeah. And so one of the things that's cool that most people don't see is we've got kind of like a green room in the TCAZ.live room where you guys are always so encouraging. You're talking with one another, and when we do have prayer requests come in, and that gets shared with the group with our hosts, and so it's really a cool thing. It's kind of different, right? Because you're also part of the prayer team that does live worship. And so it's not like somebody's walking down the aisle, but they're raising their hand. So.
Yeah. It's definitely, it's interesting, but it's just awesome. It's awesome to do at the same time and just be there for people and love on them. Like that's all we want to do is just love on you guys. So, yeah.
So if you're out there listening, you thought, well, I've wanted to ask for prayer. This puts a face to the name. Marilyn is one of our hosts, and I think we have maybe 10 or so in there, including our pastors that jump in and bug these guys every now and then. And so, Marilyn, I just want to thank you for the great job that you do. You're one of our most valuable volunteers, and I'm trying to think of that MVV, most valuable volunteer. So there you go.
All right.
And you have an amazing family and you're busy keeping track of your husband, Ben, and kids running around. So thanks for all that you do. And again, if you're out there watching, Marilyn is ready to pray for you in these online chat rooms and her and her team. So thank you, Marilyn. Great work. Thanks for joining the show. We're going to move on a little bit here. And I think up next we had, I promised see, behind the scenes, like right now, it's just my computer, but behind the scenes, quite often are guys like this right here, and we'll try to squeeze them in. And these guys, they got their mic muted, so that's probably good. But these guys make it happen. I want to introduce you to these guys, and then we're going to move on to another one of our most valuable volunteers, Tina Savage, who's waiting in the green room. But this is CJ and Tyson. CJ and Tyson. Now, you guys both just graduated. Congratulations.
Yep. Thank you.
And I just, we've been doing the just the online church only for what, like 8 weeks or so, and if you guys are out there and you've enjoyed our online broadcast, it's 2/3 these guys right here. These guys are the ones that are crawling around up front, getting those shots of Ernie and up Blake's, nostrils and things like that. So is that shot on purpose?
The shot is for his torso up, and it kind of gets the it's not meant for up his nostril, obviously. I don't know.
Okay.
Especially when he looks down at the shot, it's very intentional. It's very It's like he's looking straight down into the room,
Especially when the lighting hits right behind him, it gives him that silhouette, and it makes a good shot. So
I want to get out of this shot so that I can see you guys.
Sometimes it doesn't work out the way we want it to. Like we had some complaints from Ernie, and
now be honest. Does Ernie, because he's listening to the show right now, does he complain a lot?
No.
One time,
yeah.
It wasn't really a complaint either.
It's like pointers.
It was like a request.
Yeah.
He didn't want to seem fat on camera. That was
That's great. And I hope that's true. I really hope that's true.
But it's
probably
not.
Like
no. Ernie doesn't look as bad as he thinks he does, but I promise. Like
here's a comment. See, the boss is actually listening, so you just got thrown under the bus. That's great. Any other dirt on Ernie? Could you share? I mean,
Okay. I think it's a good experience to
Tina, is this safe? Is this a safe conversation? Oh, she's muted. Okay, we can't bring her in.
So one of the things that makes camera difficult with Ernie is he's so animated and he loves to move around, right? And if you don't have a tripod, it's a lot harder than it looks. That's why sometimes you might see us make a mistake. That's because it could be either us holding the camera some awkward angle, like on our heads or something, falling down. But like when you're trying to hold the camera still and he's jumping across the stage like a monkey.
Yeah.
There's been
quite often.
And it's a very good effect, and it's very genuine on his part. But there's been a few times where he literally will sprint, or sometimes he'll take a knee. And with the shots that we try to get, sometimes we don't have that much mobility to get that shot.
And especially like we love when trying to work out. You see the comment he put.
Yeah, or he's trying to work off weight. Yeah.
What was I saying about the mobility? So like when Ernie comes and looks at the camera, it's a great shot, except if we're at an awkward stance, the camera you'll see the camera shaking a little bit because we're trying our best to hold it still.
We've been known many times to have to hold our breath and just try to stay rock steady. It happens all the time.
Oh yeah.
Well, you guys have been so amazing. I mean, and I'm serious. If you're watching out there, and this is a behind the scenes look, these two make the shots happen. They're the ones that we've had so many comments where people have said, "Wow, I really felt like I was there," and it's because of the creativity and the shots that these two get or have been getting. And so I just want to thank you guys. I'll ask you a serious question. Why each of you should answer this? Why do you do it? Why have you volunteered to do this, and why do you do it? What do you get out of it?
You go
ahead. At first I originally got into like doing audiovisual stuff when CJ used to do it several years ago. And then if I have to really be honest, I started doing it because my parents started doing it, and I was at church and they needed help and I wanted to help. And then anymore, though, I've started to take it very seriously, especially what Blake says a lot about the whole audiovisual team, the worship team, everyone's there, is that we're we're all a piece of getting the gospel out to people. And I started to take that a lot more seriously. And when I started doing that, I actually started having a lot more fun doing it too.
Yeah. What about you, CJ?
Not to flex or anything, but I was like one of the original cameramen. But at the time, we had one of those tiny little cameras on a tripod. That thing was just so awkward and difficult to move. And I trained Tyson on it, and then I just stopped doing it for a while. But then this whole quarantine thing happened, and they were like, we really, really need another cameraman. I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it. But when I realized that we can be creative with the shots, that's what sold it for me.
Yeah.
Because although I love going to church, I love seeing people, this is like the most fun I've ever had being a cameraman. It's because of that freedom, you know?
A lot of times being a cameraman doesn't really sound like a whole lot of fun, I guess. Maybe that's not the right way to phrase it, but in the end, I think being able to like crawl around, being able to, like what CJ was saying, use our imagination a little bit, and just understanding that, again, that the message coming to us couldn't get to other people without a lot of people, but including us, you know?
Right. Absolutely. Well, you're truly inspiring. Well, what would you tell somebody? You guys are youngsters. And so what would you guys tell people that want to volunteer, and would it be worth their time to jump in?
Oh yeah. It gives you a sense of like accomplishment, and just it feels like a great duty that you're doing for other people. It's just especially if you love doing it, it's just so awesome seeing what people think about it, and just helping spread the word, you know? Anything?
Well, I would say if somebody wants to volunteer, give it a shot, but give it a shot with the understanding of it. It is still like, it's still a position, you know? There's going to be some things to learn, and it's not going to be necessarily 100% awesome all the time, but give it a shot and give it a chance, you know, whether it's camera or otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, you both owe me $20 for letting you on the show. You told me you'd pay me to get you in here. So just kidding. You guys doing a great job. And you ought to take my job is what you ought to do. Because CJ, maybe next weekend I'll do the camera and you can do the intro and welcome everybody in.
Do we have to shave too?
Yeah, you'd probably be better. Right. Yeah, you gotta go all the way. All right, guys. Well, congratulations again on the graduation and all you guys do and what you're going to be doing for our country in your service. And so you guys are truly inspiring. See you guys later.
Thank you.
Later.
So there you have it. Again, welcome to our Sunday Night in the Pines show. I'm Ron, one of the pastors at the church, and we've got just about 10 more minutes here. Really wanted to design this show for you, the listener, the viewer, the worship experiencer, to come in with any questions. When we're meeting together, we do these things called Next Step, where we say, hey, we're going to meet in this room over here if you want to know more about the church, if you want to meet our pastors and things like that. But we thought, well, since we're not meeting together in person, we can do it virtually through this thing and also add some content to let you see some behind the scenes stuff. And so again, if that's you and you have any comments or questions, anything like that, make sure you pipe in. Until then, I want to bring on two of our very most valuable volunteers, the Savages. How you guys doing over there in the Savage home tonight?
Doing amazing.
Awesome.
How are you?
Good. Good, I guess. Do I look okay?
You look great.
Yeah.
I tried to put some powder on and stuff.
There's a little bit of glare right here, but otherwise you're great.
Well, I just had two of your cameramen and actually you're one of your kids. What is it like working? Tina, you've done such an amazing job, and you're actually in this context Brian's boss. Actually, probably in more than one contest, you're his boss. But anyhow, what's it like working with that team? I mean, you guys do some amazing things. I mean, you're in control of the switch, the cameras, the lighting, the calling the shots, and everything. What's that like? What's that team like? What's it been like during this COVID time?
It's hard. It's harder than you think. Like, I did camera for the first time today and it was hard. So, but the team is amazing. Like CJ said, we get creative shots. We talk to each other through headsets, so we get to communicate. But I think the best part is we still get to be at the church every week.
Yeah, that is true. And today was just off the hook for the 10 of us that were there. It was really awesome. And so we're looking forward to getting back together. But what's it been like? Now you guys are also pretty instrumental in your community groups when you talk about like being together is better. How have you guys handled that during this time as far as just community?
Our community group has continued to meet virtually like we're meeting here, and that's been amazing. That being said, and like Tor said earlier, it's not the same, and we definitely miss that family, right? Miss that family
Right.
Beyond that, and then through this whole process, we both been blessed to continue to have to work every day, right? I'm with the fire department. Tina has worked out of the office even prior to, or excuse me, worked out of the home even prior to this. So we've been really, really blessed, and thank you for that really blessed to continue to work and still continue in kind of a normal routine. That being said, church is not the same without you all. There's 600 or 700 or 800 faces that are missing every weekend, and we can't wait to see them again.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And we like to bring in some comments like that because you don't get those in other press conferences you're in. So
no,
no, you don't. Well, Tina, talk a little bit about talk about if you have any dirt on Blake, you can share that. I mean, we always are digging for stuff like that, or Ernie for that matter. But what is it like to work on that team? I mean, you're part of the flow charts. You're part of everything it takes. Did it surprise you when you jumped into this how many details there are to pull off a church service?
Yes. I mean, we have sound, we have lights, we have camera, we have 3 cameras, we have switchboard, we have to switch back and forth, we have lyrics, we have scripture, we have so many things that we have to keep track of on Sunday morning. It's crazy, but it's worth it because it's amazing.
And they have to happen like at certain times. Like our flow chart is down to like, I mean, everything that we do is pretty intentional. Would you agree?
Blake likes his to the minute. He does not like people go over.
I know. I've seen people fired before. He just be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Just no soup for you. Get out of here. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, Ernie would probably lose his soup because he goes overtime.
Yeah, he does.
There's dirt.
Yeah, there's dirt. He has a timer and then he has some time on the timer.
Right.
So
right.
So he's tuned in. So
we used to take bets on how far over he was going to go, and
we did
over unders. Yeah,
we did.
On the headset, we would say, okay,
the over under 7. Who's got it?
Yeah.
On the headset.
Is he going to go over? Yeah, we do. Sorry, Ernie. We love you.
We
take the over every time.
Take the over every time.
For
we would listen to him all day long too. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. It's always amazing stuff, and that's the cool thing. We sometimes I think if we were, he says to take back your picture.
I knew that was him.
I think if we were an old school like revival church, we'd probably just go for a few hours. But
you could go.
So we got a question coming in from James. This is for you, Brian.
Yes, I rode.
Yes, you do. You rode to church today, as a matter of fact. I think I saw that. Yeah. So when we're all back together, maybe we'll all meet at the Recenter. We can go out for a spin.
I like it.
Or kayaking.
That'd be cool too.
That's not James' question, Tina.
He's
asking about riding motorcycles. But kayaking's cool. And you guys did that today. Anyhow. All right. Anything else you want to give a shout out to anybody else on your team?
Everybody, but we need more people.
Okay.
TJ and Tyson are getting ready to leave us, and we need to train people to take their place.
Yeah, that's a good point. So if as people want to get involved, you're one of the people that they contact, right? If they want to get involved in what? So tell everybody what if they want to serve on any of your teams. What all does that encompass?
Oh, it depends on where you want to go. I mean, if you want to run the computer, the switchboard, lights, camera, we train you.
Just say yes. We'll put you to work.
Just say yes. Yeah.
Well,
we tell you what to do.
Yeah.
What does it mean to run the camera, or I mean the computer, for instance? What does that do?
Well, you push the button.
But what's it do?
The lyrics.
Lyrics. And
yes, lyrics
Okay.
and scripture and timer and videos that we show and you when you start talking. So yes, it does a lot.
yeah, so shout out to Amy Jones for today.
Yes.
She does an amazing job
Yes.
up there. So, all right, guys. Well, I'll let you go back to whatever it is that you guys were doing on this fine evening. And thank you guys again, seriously, for all that you guys do. You do amazing stuff. We couldn't do it without you and without your teams. And so thank you guys.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Love you. Okay, that's going to be it for our show tonight. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. And again, if you have any questions about the church programs, what's going on, anything like that, make sure that you let us know in these comments. We'll be checking them all week long. Again, don't forget about our service times. They're happening 4 times a week at this point. Sunday mornings, 9:30 a.m., 11 a.m., 7 p.m. on Sunday night, and then also Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And so, again, we want to thank you. All kinds of ways to get plugged in. Just go to tcaz.us/connect, and you can just push buttons and you can get connected, because eventually we're all going to be back together, and we do need workers, servants, and volunteers, and kids in the kids areas, from first impressions to the AV teams that Tina was just talking about. So again, thank you for joining us, and we hope that we pray that you have a great week. Thanks for jumping into this time together. So have a great week, guys.